Hello, good morning and good afternoon and good evening to everyone, and welcome to the second edition of Oracle Apex Office Hours JPAC. Today, we have a special guest, Sunil Tandon from United Codes, and Sunil is going to present to us Apex Office Sprint 101. My name is Chaitanya. I lead the product management for Oracle Apex at JPAC. Apex Office Sprint, in short, AOP, is a product of United Codes, who is an experienced partner. AOP is a powerful printing solution that enables you to generate beautiful reports and documents directly from Oracle Apex. Using AOP, you can quickly create templates for your data. You can easily print and export the document you made with Word, Excel, PDF, PowerPoint, HTML, and text. And here you see apex.oracle.com. For those of you who are new to Apex, this is the first page that you should be going to. Visit apex.oracle.com to get started with Apex and learn how to build enterprise applications 20 times faster with 100 times less code. What do you see on apex.oracle.com? This is the official site and one-stop shop for everything and anything about Oracle Apex. It includes information about the platform, different use cases, learning material that you need to learn Apex, community links as well for you. I would like to present here about Apex Foundations learning path. Oracle Apex product development team has launched this learning path a couple of months ago for our customers, for beginners who want to learn the fundamentals of low-code application development with Apex. This is a 3.5-hour expert training completely delivered by the Apex product team, and we would encourage you to enroll and learn for free right today from Oracle University. The URL is available here, apex.oracle.com/go/foundations, and I would request my colleagues to please paste the same in the Q&A in the chat window for you. And coming soon, this learning path will also be available on third-party learning platforms like LinkedIn Learning and Coursera. The product development team is working hard to come up with a new learning path, Apex Developer Professional, and we are also updating the certification. So stay tuned for our updates in the coming weeks. Then about Sunil today. So Sunil Tandon is a product lead for Apex Office Sprint and Apex Media Extension in United Codes. Sunil is responsible for overseeing the development and deployment of the application, as well as managing a team of talented developers at United Codes. Sunil joined the company when the application was in its infancy, and since then has been very instrumental in its growth from a single user tool to a widely adopted printing solution used by thousands of companies ranging from small businesses to large enterprises. Sunil strives for continuously refining the application's features and capabilities to meet the evolving needs of users. Sunil's contributions have been very critical to establishing Apex Office Print as the go-to printing solution for Oracle Apex. Without much of a wait, I would like to welcome Sunil Tandon to present Apex Office Print 101 today. Over to you, Sunil. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Chaitanya. So good morning, everyone, I guess. So thank you, Chaitanya and Apurva, for providing me with this opportunity to present to you. I'm really happy that the JPAC office hour sessions has restarted, and I'm also happy to be here. And I hope that this will be one of the many presentations I'll be doing here and share my knowledge. So as Chaitanya said, today I will be showing you how easy it is to use Apex Office Print in order to export and create reports that your business requires. So I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, so as Chaitanya said, I'm currently working with Apex Office United Codes, and I'm the product lead of Apex Office Print and Apex Media Extension. In this session, I'll be going through the following list of things. So the basics, the infrastructure of Apex Office Print, how to install it, how to create your templates, a bit about PDF utilities, and final licensing. So depending on how much time we have. Okay, so let me start off with the architecture of Apex Office Sprint. So this architecture is, I think, fairly known by everyone. So we have a browser and we have a web server, and behind the web server, it's communicating with the database server in order to provide you with pages. So this is the structure or the architecture of Apex that we all know. An extra component that comes into play is the cloud or on-premise version of Apex Office Sprint. So the database server will be communicating with our software, so with AOP. AOP actually is a RESTful service. So as we saw here on the architecture, it's the database server that is communicating, right? So the communication happens in REST API. So it's a JSON with a defined structure that allows you to send the request and get back the reports. So if you have an on-prem version of Apex Office Sprint, you will see this page if you navigate to the URL, and this if you navigate to our API. So of course, we want to make things easier for you, right? So what we provide is the PL/SQL API that you can call and make things easier for you in order to create the JSON that AOP requires. So not only PL/SQL, we are closely integrated with Apex, and we provide you with different plugins in Apex. So convert type plugin, process type plugin, dynamic actions plugin. So this is an extra cherry on top that makes things a lot more easier. So as Chaitanya mentioned, it's all about how efficient you can be without writing any codes. Okay, so the workflow of AOP is basically first, you will need to create a template. The template can be created in the application that you already know, so Microsoft Office. And this is totally different than how you normally would expect report generation engine to work, where you have to go and code and write XMLs and all those things. So this is like visually creating the template so that it's a lot easier for you to create them. And we will see in a bit how the data is made dynamic. So the first step is to create the template. And the second step is to select the data. This can be from your database. This can be from your Apex pages. This can be, for example, Apex regions. We will go through that later a bit. And finally is to choose your output type. So you can have the same output type as your template. For example, from Word to Word, Excel to Excel, PowerPoint to PowerPoint, or with all the supported template types, we also support PDF output. So you create your template in flexible softwares like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and then you can export it to PDF. And of course, once that is set up, the only thing left is to generate the report. It can be that while generating the reports, you will come across some errors. AOP provides you the descriptive error message, which you can use in order to debug what might be happening. So that was AOP basics. Now I'm going to go through the installation step together with you. So what I have over here is a local instance of Oracle Application Express. So I do want to quickly give a shout out to Adrian Ping. He was here last month on JPEG session as well. So he has created this script, which makes you a lot easier in order to create Docker instances. So I'm basically using his code in order to create a Docker and run it locally. So in this workspace, what I have here is a sample database application with nothing extra installed on it. Okay, so let's see. We have a dashboard here. We want to export some information from this page, right? So in order to do that, we need to install Apex Office Sprint in this workspace. We can do that in multiple ways. So you will need to go to our dashboard, log in. So you will need to create an account. We do not require any credit card information, so you're good with that. So you will require an Apex instance, an AOP account, If you want to use our cloud, then you will need to use API key and of course the PL/SQL packages and the plugins. The first step is to go to our website, apexofficeprint.com, log in to your dashboard, and in the download section, you will see that there are packages that you can download. So once you download, you will see the following things. So for every Apex version subdirectory, which allows you to install the application into your existing application. So the plugin into your existing application. So that is what I'm going to do right now. So here, my Docker instance is running the latest version of Apex. So it's 22.2. And now I'm going to just upload the SQL script. So 22.2. Here, the database, and it will be DB packets. Let's go ahead and run it. Okay, so the packages have now been installed, and in order to use the plugin, so now we can go ahead and use the PL/SQL package that I mentioned on my introductory session. But of course, we want some dynamic action, or we want to export from while clicking a button here. So in order to do that, we require a dynamic action plugin. So I am going to go ahead and install that in this application. So shared components, plugin, import, and in this case, so plugin and dynamic action plugin. Okay, so while installing the plugin, you will need to give the AOP URL. So if you're using our cloud, so this is fine, but you will need to provide an API key. However, in this case, I have a local instance of Apex Office Print running on this URL. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste this. So that's the only setting that we need for the moment. Okay, now let's go ahead to this page and add a button. And name it export. And create a new dynamic action. So when we go and check what kind of actions are available, we see that there is one extra here, and that is Apex Office Print Dynamic Action plugin. Okay. So once this is selected, you will see different settings here. So for all these settings, if you go to the help section, right? So here, for this component, we have a help text that will explain exactly what is going on here. So AOP template that is currently selected by default will generate a Word document with starting template based on the data that is submitted. Documentation is also added on the next page that describes the functions of AOP, right? Okay, so this is what we want because we don't really have a template, and we want to see what we can do, or we want to generate a starter template. The next type, and the next thing that you will need to select is the data. So we need to have some data in order to generate the output. In this case, SQL is selected. However, we have some components in this reason. So we've got an interactive report here, top products here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this as the reason or as the source of our data. So let's see our top customers. In order to do so, we do need to require or provide a static ID. So top customers. And I'm going to just provide the static ID of that reason. So here, one of the options is reason. So AOP is smart enough to know what kind of data is behind a certain reason. So this is closely integrated and allows you to export data very quickly. So here, effective element, since I'm not really using any base items, I won't be needing any. So I'm just going to make it empty and run it. Okay, so our here button is up here. So I'm just going to try out what happens here. So we go export and we see our document pop up. Here, I have output type selected to Word. So I'm getting a Word document, but this starter template can actually be used for other template types or other templates type as well. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and hit export. So the only change that I did was on the setting from Word to Excel, and we get the expected or desired output. So let's go ahead and see what is in here. So AOP has found top customers as classic report. And also we see what tags, so this is what we call tags, that we can use in order to export the data. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify this template and show the data how it is here, right? So we have a kind of a table that has the information about our customers. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove this. In here, we also have extra information. So here we do have a bit more information. However, if the columns were smaller, so we can use tables. And we also give some explanation about what the tag will be doing. So this tag will be replaced by the data that AOP sees. So list title, as we can see here. So that is the title, order total. So I'm going to copy this and then create a similar structure here. We do have some extra explanation too about formatting and all those stuff, but I'm going to skip that for the moment. So let's go ahead and create a template. A table. So we've got, let's say, two table. Okay, top customers, and I'm going to repeat. So there are special tags, as you saw, right? So this tag will be replaced by just normal information. However, this tag with a hashtag, this means I want to repeat some things for all the records that are there in that cursor or in that record. So let's see. Top customers. This title. Sorry, so I want to close here. All right. Okay, so let's get some other information except for this title only. So what we have here is the address. So there you go. Okay, so I guess for the moment, I'm just going to use this and then see what this gives. Okay, so we save this as template. Okay, so for the moment, I'm going to remove this too. Okay. All right, so now we have a template that we can use. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this template to our static application files. So that was template.docx. I create, and I will copy this template.docx, go back to our dynamic action, and instead of AOP template, I am going to say static application files. So we do have a lot of other options as well. So you can specify where your template comes from. Some customers also provide like Google Drive link, so URL, and they have they've edited live, right? So all the changes are reflected. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Okay, so of course, the an error occurred. So here we have provided an output a template type of Word file, but we're expecting Excel. So that is not supported. So we go ahead and change it back to Word. Okay, another error. So it seems the tag top customers is closed by top customers with a space. So we do need to be a bit careful with this because it is. So here we have an extra space. So this should resolve our problem. So let's go ahead and upload that template. Okay, it's been overwritten, and let's see what happens. So this was our template. And as we can see, we have exported the data from that classic report directly into a Word document. So now let's say instead of a Word document, we require a PDF output. How do we do that? So in order to do that, we can just go ahead to our dynamic action, and instead of Word, I'm going to select PDF, save it, and export it. And the result is, of course, the PDF of that template. So you saw here just how easy it is in order to export data from your existing application. So now what I'm going to show you is, okay, so that was the installation part. So I'm moving a bit forward with the templating. But okay, I'm gonna come back to that and then talk about installation part, right? So before moving on to the templating. So here, the template source, as I said, you can specify static application files, but also other options. And for the data type, you have the option to write your own SQL query. And as you see, when I'm moving from one item to the other, AOP provides you with all the explanation and help text that you require in order to get started. So you also have other global items. So for example, the per file name here, it was as output. You can also specify your file name from here. Okay, so that was on the installation part. As you saw, we just downloaded, we installed the packages, sample, so the database package, and then the plugin. On top of that, we also provide you with sample applications that you can import and see exactly how things are working. So for Apex person, I'm just going to go ahead and install the sample applications. So here we've got 0, 1, 2. So they should be installed in that order. Okay, so I'm just going to install, if it takes too long, I'm going to go ahead and switch workspace, but I think this won't take that long. So that was our first application. Now we go ahead and select the second one. So this sample application has everything or showcases every feature AOP provides. And then we can go ahead and have a look at those as well. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to templating so that while it's being installed, we can go ahead and create other templates. Okay. Okay, so moving on to the templating section. So the basic tags, we already saw that, right? So we can specify the name of the record. For example, in this case, we're using a select statement to select our data, customer first name and customer last name. We can just wrap those names using curly braces, and it will be replaced by the data. The other thing that I forgot to mention about this is that the styling of the tag itself is taken into account. What does that mean? This means if I were to change, let me open up the template back again. Okay, change the styling. So let's say I want to make it a bit more bold and give it another, it was already bold, but let's say I want to give it another color, for example, blue, then our output would also have that styling. So this allows your business users to change the template if they wish so. So it's really simple to change the fonts, the color, the styling, and it's really, you don't really need to go into code and then do everything, right? So this is what makes AOP very powerful. So these are the basic tags. So the other tag that we saw is the loop tag. So we specify here that we want to repeat this row for every top customers. So if we had placed, for example, if I want to repeat a section, then I would have just written top customers again here. And basically I get the section for every customer. Okay. So we saw that. So this is the structure, customer first name, and then we're going through all the orders, all the products of that order, and we get a list of that. Before I move on, I want to show the repetition of sections as well, but I guess installation will. Okay, I'm going to switch workspace because it is taking a bit longer than expected in order to install it. Okay, so what we have here is our sample application. That showcases every feature that you have here, right? So interactive reports, I think I showed you there. You can just specify the reason as its source, and AOP will take that into consideration. So here, if we go, the source is interactive report. Okay, I think there's a one settings. I do need to change one thing here. Okay, so here in this interactive report, we also see breaks. And if we export that, then the breaks will also be taken into account. The other thing that I wanted to show you was the looping tag, right? Now let's go ahead and create a button in this space in order to show that. Okay, add a dynamic action on this button and use our Apex Office Sprint. Okay, so in order to show the looping tag, I do have a startup template here, or let's say an invoice. So this is the template that I created. As you can see, we have some loopings here, right? So the normal information or normal replacing tags are here. We've got the date, we've got the customer name. And in this case, we are going to do or introduce some extra elements to our template. So this is the looping, and I also have an extra barcode tag here. So let's go ahead and upload this and then see how we can use this template in order to export the data, right? So static application files, create file, and invoice simple. Okay, going back to that page. Of course, I did not save the dynamic action. Okay. There we go. Okay, now our name for our template was invoice simple. So for this, I'm going to cheat a bit, and then I have a SQL statement written for the invoice. So here we go. So what I'm selecting is the date, our customer name, customer city, and the order information. I'm going to save this. Of course, I'm not using anything from the page itself. So there we go. And let's see what this gives. All right, so let's go ahead and analyze what just happened here. So this was our template, and this is our final output. So we are repeating everything that is inside these tags for every product of that order. And we also see some product code or a barcode appearing, right? Furthermore, we also see that we are using some operations, right? So AOP allows you to do some extra operations or simple calculations in the template itself. So total is 360. We also have here an unformatted text, but we can also use format tag in order to format it. Okay, so that was for looping. I'm going to go ahead a bit further on the presentation with templating. So that was vertical looping, where you have looping from top to bottom, but in other templates, we also allow you to use horizontal looping, where you have, so where you go from left to right. Okay, special tags, images. This is something that we can use by saying % tag at the very start of that tag. It can be a file on the server, basically super encoded, URLs, and you also have the ability to specify the height and width of that element. So barcodes, I think I showed you, yeah, the barcode was also there. We have a lot of options available for barcode. The one that I used was EAM13. However, you can also go ahead and use QR codes and other codes. So hyperlink tag will allow you to use URLs in your template. So if you have a digital copy of that invoice, you can say, okay, this copy can be received from this, and you can provide the URLs there. Another awesome option of Apex Office Print is that you can generate native charts. So what I have here is that it allows you to export charts that are native to Word and convert them to, of course, PDF as well. So what does this mean? So you are selecting the data and you're creating a chart using that data. So we also have settings for that. So this is a structure of the SQL that you write. You have, of course, the settings for height and width. You also have options for, of course, the data that you want to select. So that is for charts. So if seed generation is an extra feature that AOP allows you to do, so you can have a seed for every customer here. In this case, so John Dulles, and there's 2 customers. So the seed generation tag starts with an exclamation mark. The same thing goes for PowerPoint slide generation. So I can show it to you quickly here too. So examples, PowerPoint, slide generation. Okay, so this is the output. So let's go ahead and see what the template was here. So here we're going through all the products of that order and creating an individual slide for it. And as you can see, we also have some images here, right? So we're using the image tag again. Okay, so that was slide generation. We also have something special called QR code replacing. So if you want to style an image a certain way, you can also do that, and AOP will basically replace that QR code with tags with the image that you provide. So as you can see here, the images were replaced. Okay, so there's a lot of tags that are available. I will quickly show you this on our documentation. So templates. So these are all the tags that you can use, right? So we have come a long way since we began. So we have had customers that want to expand or add new feature to AOP, and then we take that as a feature request and we implement it, right? So the other thing that I can show you is the HTML content, which is pretty powerful. So HTML to native Word. So what I have here is a web editor which has some HTML content in it, right? So I can use one simple tag in order to export this data. So this is the HTML content tag identified by underscore at the very start. And I can just give this as a source and export it to Word. And as you can see, the headings are actually changed into the headings of Word. So this is the styling that we are using. Okay. So these are all the tags. So we went ahead and looked for barcode, image, QR codes, so charts, and interactive report and interactive grid as well. So a lot of options available. So you can get started with just simple tags and expand your report on more or by adding more and more tags. Okay, so we also allow you to do some sub-templating. What does this mean? If you have a specific content, you can, if that you want to reuse it in multiple reports, you can create a sub-template and then call it from your main reports. So I showed you this HTML2. So Apex reason exports, AOP report, reason types. We also allow you to take screenshots of the reason if that is something that AOP does not recognize. And of course, the available tags. Furthermore, Angular expressions is something that we support. So once you are inside the template, you are in, once you start the curly braces, you are inside JavaScript environment. So you can use things like this, right? Is euro is equals to 1. So this is conditions. So this is basically saying if the data provided says this is a euro, you provide this symbol, otherwise you should provide that symbol. The other alternative is, of course, to use conditions or in this case, loop tags. So they will basically only render when this condition is fulfilled. So this works for multiple conditions. Calculations, so you can have additions as well, multiplications, divisions, operations. So if you have a list of records, you can say, I want the sum of this, I want the maximum, the average and minimum. So those are all possible. You can also have string manipulation to lowercase, to split, and to substrings. And finally, no more formatting. So you can have like go ahead and then see what other extra stuff are available. So here also, we give a descriptive documentation on what are available. Okay, so that was a bit on the templating, I want to quickly go ahead and show you the PDF features as well. So what we have is, you can also go ahead and play around with this sample application on our website. So online demos and PDF tools. So PDF, as you saw, we can use Apex Office Print to Office to create PDFs, right? But you can also do further manipulations on the PDF. So for example, if I want to fill in PDF forms, so this will be, let's see here. So this is creating a PDF form where we go ahead and create the forms in the PDF. So fill PDF forms. So we have here PDF forms that we want to fill out, right? Fill in PDF forms. And as you can see, so this data is dynamic. You can also go ahead and read a pre-filled PDF. So if we have, for example, in this case, we have a PDF that hasn't filled in, and we can ask AOP to read what those values are. So this is how you can use AOP in order to read and fill in forms. But we also have possibilities to, for example, securing a PDF, right? So here, in this case, the password is test password. So if we have a PDF, we can encrypt it using passwords. Furthermore, we also have the possibility to merge different PDFs. So you can have multiple PDFs. If you have multiple PDFs, you can merge them into one or split them into individual pages as well. So that was for a bit quick overview on PDFs and PDF features. And I guess the last part is about, let's see, I think I still have like 10 minutes. Okay, I guess we can move on to the questions and answers. But first, I would like to show you the pricing of it. So if you go here, pricing, so we have cloud version or on-prem licenses. So these licenses, they are one-time payment, right? So you have access to 2 servers with unlimited reports. So we don't take any count into account. So we don't say, okay, how many CPU threads or how many prints per year. We don't really talk about that. It's just 2 servers. You can print however you want, how much you want, how big or documents you want. Yeah, okay, so I think we can move on to the questions and answers here. So I also see that they are being answered by Dimitri too. Okay,
Sure.
Chaitanya?
Yes, Sunil, I have one question still being not answered. I mean, is there any limit on the amount of data that can be sent over to AOP from Apex? For example, source returns 1 million rows. Will there be any bottlenecks?
So, of course, the more data that you have, the longer it will take for AOP to process the data. However, we also provide you with a high memory version of Apex Office Print. So it will allow you to export. So we do have customers who are exporting 1 million records to Excel, for example, right? But we are using LibreOffice in order to convert Excel to PDF and Word to PDF. So it will take a bit longer, but it is possible.
Thank you, Sunil. The next question, if you would like to answer, or I can answer that. Are there licenses available for internal Oracle consumption?
So internal Oracle, I guess, yeah. So if you are using Oracle Corp Apex, it's already installed there. So I think you can just say localhost 8010, and then it should automatically work for you.
Thank you, Sunil. That's all the questions that I have right now. We still have 6 more minutes. So if you have anything to cover, maybe you can go over, or I'll wait for questions in the meantime.
Yeah, so I think I kind of showed you a bit, yeah, around the sample application, but there's also a phase that goes through the debugging process. So debugging, if you have any stuff, right? So here, if you have any issues, connection debugging, test connection it was. So this is the URL. So we can say check if reachable. So if I were to provide something else, then it would give an appropriate error, right? And so as you saw, while templating, I have to upload the template to sample applications file as I go through them and modify them. In order to make things easier, we provide you with a web editor, we call it, which allows you to basically change the template dynamically, right? So this means, let's see, I make it bold, and since I don't have any spaces, so there we go. I save it, and I can just simply drag and drop this and then see the result in seconds. So I already have data selected. So in order to create it, so I can use the web editor in order to quickly modify the templates and see the result. So we also have some sample here, so you can go ahead and check those as well. So I also want to do a quick shout out to Jürgen Schuster, the founder of Oracle Apex World. So this is a website I think not a lot of people know, or maybe people know. So this is a go-to place where you can actually see everything that is happening in Apex and Apex basically world. And because of them, I got connected to Chaitanya and Apurva. And yeah, I do want to thank him for connecting me to you guys too.
Thank you, Sunil. I have two questions that just popped up. Can you print Excel files and generate dynamic macros in them?
So yes, the short answer is yes. So if you have macros in Excel file, then the macros will not be touched by EOP. So if your output is Excel, then it will basically replace the data in the Excel file, and your macros will also be there when you open it up. So yes, the short answer is then yes, indeed. So here we have basically the template types or the output types. So when you load a Word, so I said that it was going to output to only PDF and Word, but that's not true. We can actually go to DOC, RTF, one-page PDF, HTML, text. So this basically means that I'm outputting my Word template into text. Of course, the dynamic element, for example, images and those things will not be there, but it is possible.
Thank you. I have one question. If I'm using, if I'm in a restrictive network, for example, and I'm using AOP, is there a setting which allows for whitelisting sort of thing for static IP addresses?
Yes, we do provide static.apexofficeprint.com. So this will always resolve to a static IP address. So you can whitelist that IP address. I can see what that exactly is. Okay, so it's static.apexofficeprint.com. And this is the static IP that you can whitelist. And this will always work, yes.
Awesome, fantastic. I don't see any other questions at this point. Maybe in the next 2-3 minutes until I finish the conclusion, probably if there is anything comes up, you might want to take them in the Q&A. Thank you so much, Sunil. You have anything to say? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I do want to thank Dimitri for answering the questions that were popped there as well. So other than that, yeah, reach out to us. We also have a Slack channel AOP on apex.world Slack workspace. So, or reach out through Twitter. So we're here to help you out. And yeah, I guess that was it.
Thank you so much, Sunil, for this excellent session today. And touching everything what someone needs to get started with Apex Office Print, Apex AOP 101. And thank you, Dimitri, for helping out with answering the questions. Thank you both once again from United Codes. Let me just share my screen now, and then we'll conclude. So the JPAC product management team is hosting this Apex Office Hours JPAC. And if you're a partner helping out customers building innovative Apex apps, if you're a customer seeking help in Apex, if you are a developer who has built a cool Apex application, we're allowed to showcase this to the community. We would definitely love to host you guys. And please do reach out to us. We are here to listen and help you out. Please reach us at oracle-application-express_ww@oracle.com. If you solved any complex problem using Apex and want to share your tips and tricks, want an office hour session in your regional language, and got ideas for the next office hour session, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. On what's next? On April 6th, 2023, we're hosting 6 Secrets of Apex at 11:30 a.m. IST, which is 6 a.m. UTC. Please do subscribe for apex.oracle.com/go/jpac. We will be recording every office hour session, and we will be hosting it again. We'll be hosting it in our YouTube channel for YouTube playback. If you missed an office hour session, please do watch from the playlist. The URL is available on the screen for you. So please do subscribe for apex.oracle.com/go/jpac. Also spread the word to the community. Please do reach out to your customers and partners who are interested with office hour sessions on Apex. Learn more everything about Apex, apex.oracle.com. And we also have shortcuts there, Apex community, blogs. We do blog regularly, blogs.oracle.com/apex. And please also go to apex.oracle.com/education. That's it from us for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you once again, Sunil and Dimitri, for joining us for this session today. And thank you, everyone. We wish you a happy rest of the day. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.